G'day there guys, relationship guru Markee back here again with another episode of r/relationship advice. Now if you love today's bloody good relationship commentary content, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and get ready for today's bloody good content. Thank you. Posted by user Tistan1, titled, My 22 female, boyfriend, 23 males, friend, seems to be perfect for him, and it's driving me insane. My boyfriend and I have been dating for about 6 months now. Our relationship with each other is amazing, and I can honestly say I haven't felt this way about anyone I've previously dated. A bit about him. He's sort of an introvert in that while he's definitely social, he doesn't talk too much, and when he does, it's still very restrained, as in, well past. He is this way with everyone, except one friend of his. I had sort of met her before because my best friend is a mutual friend of ours. My boyfriend and I actually met through my best friend. My boyfriend knows her because she has been his close friend for almost 5 years now. Apparently, they were neighbors in their university dorm, and they also had the same program. My boyfriend and her seem to share a kind of connection that I honestly can't say I do with him. He talks so much when she's present. His whole demeanor changes. The wildest I've seen him smile has been when she's present. If there's a bunch of us in a room, the two of them will have these shared references and inside jokes. A couple months back, my boyfriend had fractured his foot and was bedridden for the most part. She came to give him food literally every day. You could actually see his face brighten when he learned she would come. I sometimes feel that if you take away the sexual aspect of my relationship with him, it might not hold up against what he has with her. She broke up with her boyfriend a few months back too, and it's gotten to the point where I'm actively trying to set her up with someone. The worst part about this is that she's likable. She's attractive. She has this dorky sort of humor that my boyfriend loves. The food she was making for him was amazing. My boyfriend is into science documentaries, and I'm not, so we've never really watched them. She doesn't seem that into it either, but she watched it with him, kept asking him stuff, and he was so enthusiastic in his explanations. I've now started doing stuff he wants just to emulate that. What prompted me into coming here happened this weekend. She had come over, and my boyfriend wanted ice cream, so we went to a nearby creamery. The two of them were done with their orders because they already knew what they wanted, which, incidentally, happened to be the same flavor. Ugh. While I like taking my time testing stuff. There was an old lady with what seemed like her granddaughter who noticed that they had the same flavors and said, "You two look great together." My boyfriend corrected her, but God did that hurt. I just don't know what to do. Are they even doing anything wrong? What do I even complain to him about? Am I in over my head here? And in the comments, Alyssa X says, I feel that some comments are really inconsiderate to the OP because if you'd place yourself in the shoes of the OP, I'm certain many would comment differently. I will not lie and say that I would have flares of insecurity as well if that would be my boyfriend. I can imagine seeing the inside banter between them that would make it seem like there's chemistry in the air. However, this could very well be something only your mind would focus on, while both your boyfriend and this female friend don't think of anything but having a good friendly time, especially due to the amount of time they'd known each other. If you really are uncomfortable with the situation, just bring it up in a calm manner with your boyfriend. It's okay to ask reassurance sometimes. Doesn't mean you're sabotaging the relationship. Communication is key. Agree with this, but also, coming over every day with food when he just had a foot injury? That's pretty unusual. And I would not have been okay with another woman coming over every day with food. This feels like something worth having a boundary over. Same. I've made meals for friends who have been grieving or who have recently given birth. I didn't go every day. I made enough of one thing to last for a few meals and told them to let me know if they needed more help, or I'd order them delivery a couple times spread over a few weeks. This includes friends who live within a minute walk and people I saw at work every day. Homemade food every day? I don't even do that for myself or my husband, because I make enough for leftovers. I'd be weirded out if somebody did that for my significant other. I'd feel insecure if I was in your position too. I think you just have to talk to him about how this makes you feel, or it's always going to drive you crazy. It doesn't sound like you suspect them of doing anything, so start by telling him that you believe he would never cheat on you and you're not accusing him of anything. But sometimes their interactions make you feel uncomfortable. From your perspective, bringing him food every day while he was injured is something that a spouse or partner would do. Also tell him you notice that out of all of his friends, he only replies to her texts. Hopefully he understands where you're coming from. Make sure you're clear that you don't want to stop their friendship because you feel like she's your friend too, but you'd appreciate it if he was more aware about how this makes you feel because their friendship makes you feel like a third wheel. Good luck and keep us posted. And OP asks, thanks. Asking in this manner wouldn't come across as jealous, right? It's okay to feel a little jealous too. People assume that jealousy is the end-all to all relationships, but at the end of the day, it's just an emotion, one which can be navigated as well. Maybe you could imply that you're envious of the close relationship they have, and you would love to share more of his interests so that you could feel like a part of it too. Also, it's natural to be a little jealous here. As long as you don't cross any boundaries in their friendship and communicate openly, there's nothing wrong with feeling this way either. Thank you for saying this. Jealousy is almost never the actual issue in a relationship, at least from my experience. It's the lack of communication and lack of trust that destroys the relationship, jealousy being the catalyst. And now on to the update. Thank you for the advice in the original post. I had decided not to bring it up with my boyfriend. Some comments had made the compelling point that they hadn't really done anything wrong, and I was letting my insecurities ruin a relationship. I didn't want to ruin what has been an amazing relationship just because I felt my mind run amok. Since then, I'd entered the relationship with a positive mindset. We spent all day yesterday together, doing stuff that each of us wanted to do. Today, I thought we would try out a new Chinese place, which is near where he works. He's on work from home again. After the advice I'd received, I thought that new shared experiences is what would create the connection I wanted between the two of us. He told me that yeah, it is good. He had tried it with her a few weeks ago, before the second lockdown had started, during lunch. They both work in the downtown area, and I guess they're close enough to meet up for lunch. I know it's a small thing, and going for lunch together with a friend is whatever, but it was just the fact that this was another shared experience lost that just got to me. I opened up to him about how I felt like an outsider when him and his friend were together, about how I couldn't relate to the stuff they talked about and all that. He was incredibly comforting. He apologized and said that he didn't realize it, that he should have figured that that would be the case, and he's going to make sure that I don't feel that way. This is where I screwed up. I think I let my insecurities get the better of me here, and I got greedy. I told him about how I felt that she was doing stuff that I should be doing as his girlfriend, that his relationship with her made me feel like a third wheel, and that sometimes I felt some boundaries were being crossed inadvertently. He said he was sorry about that, but she's a very important person in my life. We've been through a lot together in the last 5 years. He asked me why they couldn't be close as friends, and what was wrong with her trying to help him out during a tough time, referring to the daily food stuff. I didn't have an answer to that. What he was saying just made sense. I told him that I wanted our relationship to mature further, that I felt I wasn't getting to be that important person in his life. He apologized and said he would make sure that I didn't feel that way, that it was his fault, but she shouldn't be punished for our mistakes. At this point, I started to cry for some reason. I can't explain it. Him putting himself at fault for everything is the last thing I wanted. He seemed so distraught during all of it, and I hate what this convo did to him. I'm so ashamed that I let my insecurities hurt us like this. He kept comforting me. We've said we're good, but there just seems to be this feeling in the air that I hate. I don't know if I just screwed it up, but I'm going to make sure it's not irreversible and not let my insecurities get the better of me. Now in the comments, Zilla Beth says, "It's a good thing that you were open and honest about it though. Stop feeling bad and thinking you messed up. Otherwise, this would have eaten away at you for so long, you could have ended up being resentful in the big picture. I don't think you're wrong for feeling the way you feel in any way. I would not be comfortable with the situation either, because it's really not normal, and I know a lot of other people would agree. I don't really have much advice except that I feel bad for you that you're going through this and you keep beating yourself up over it. There's a real problem in your relationship and you keep directing it back at yourself. Saying the things about you being the one that is screwing up and your insecurities are the problem and you feeling like you have to fix things, when you should be exploring things together as a team. I can't help but wonder if after the conversation, your boyfriend feels this much anguish over the direction of the relationship and wondering how to move forward. I'm sorry you're going through this. If his friendship is a deal breaker for OP, then that's fine. It's not necessarily the fact that it's with another woman. It's because she feels left out and neglected. Honestly, given what OP said in the last post, I would feel that way as well. It seems like they don't have many boundaries, and I would be very uncomfortable seeing that my boyfriend is happier in the presence of someone else. Of course, OP can't force him to do anything that he doesn't want to, which she isn't trying to do, so she shouldn't feel guilty. But if she's uncomfortable, then I think she should just leave. I also think that OP's boyfriend is guilt-tripping her slightly. In what way is OP at fault? She has valid reasons to feel the way she feels. What part of this is her mistake as well? It's the boyfriend's for not setting any boundaries in his relationships. It honestly sounds to me like he's apologizing to make OP think that he's taking accountability and he's going to change. But from the post, it seems as if he has a rebuttal to every apology he's made. I'm sorry, but isn't an apology. You did the right thing, showing your true feelings and vulnerability, including bursting into tears. Vulnerability is strength, you're amazing, and I'm proud of you, OP. And OP says, thank you so much. Just want to jump in here to further emphasize what other posts have said. You're not wrong for feeling the way you do. We all have our own boundaries, and sure, some people from your old post may feel like your boyfriend and his friend aren't crossing a boundary, but that's for them. They aren't the ones in the relationship, you are. With that said, OP, you can then see if there's something you and your boyfriend can agree on. If it were me, I'd think about what my hard boundaries are and why they are a boundary for me. That way I can explain to my boyfriend clearly what I want out of all of this. You obviously care about his long-term relationship with his friend, so make it clear to him that you don't want to get in the way of his friendship, but you also want to be comfortable in your own relationship with him. Lastly, it seems to me that he doesn't really understand how his friendship with her is causing you discomfort, so this may be something you'll have to revisit. To me, it's clear that you see his friend doing things or filling in roles in his life which you're supposed to have. If that's the case, then explain that. He asked you questions you couldn't answer, so perhaps next time you talk, if you choose to have another talk with him, which I advise considering how you're feeling, think on these things deeply beforehand so that you can give him answers. Good luck and hugs to you. I've been through a similar situation, so I know these are hard to deal with. I mostly agree with you. The thing is, if OP doesn't want or isn't interested in doing certain things, or filling in roles in her boyfriend's life, she shouldn't do that as an obligation, nor expect her boyfriend not to do that with his friend, unless it crosses clear boundaries of intimate affection. In my opinion, that is. Based off what OP has said, though, she is interested in filling those roles in his life, and that what she's witnessed from their relationship has breached some boundaries already. It's just that now, She thinks it's all just in her head, since other folks don't seem to be bothered by it. Posted by user ThrowRAJ123. Titled, I'm 40 male, in love with an escort, 25 female. 8 years ago, my wife passed away, and I had a difficult time coping. Eventually, I tried online dating, but that went nowhere. I started seeing an escort, and she was amazing. We really connected on an emotional as well as a physical level. I've seen her at least once a week for the past 5 years. I feel like we've grown close over this time, and she's opened up to me as well. She told me her real name, I've been to her actual condo, she's told me her reasons for becoming an escort. We talk about her family, and I've even taken her on vacation several times. We text daily, we've talked about her school and her career, and this is what is messing me up. I feel a strong connection, but I also realize it's her job, and I'm paying her. The problem for me is that she's now done school and is ready to move back home to begin her career and quit being an escort. She told me all this during Christmas. She bought me a PlayStation 5 for Christmas. What the hell? She said that it was a thank you for being a great client all these years, and she said she's gonna miss me. She said that even though I was a client, I made her feel special. She said she's gonna miss venting to me and appreciated me always listening to her. She said she's planning on making the move this spring. I'm mentally preparing for it, but I don't know if I can handle it. I think I'm in love with her. I want to tell her this. I want to tell her I love her and she means everything to me. I really think she has feelings too, but I don't know. Maybe she's really good at her job. It's probably a long shot, but I'd love to be in a real relationship with her. Hell, I'd even relocate with her. Should I tell her I love her? I'm 40 with no kids. I don't have a lot of close friends. All I have is my career. What do I have to lose? I don't know. Then again, if this is all just a part of her job as an escort, I don't want to make her feel awkward. In the comments, Ham Chicky says, r/ask an escort. Ask the ladies in the biz. I think you'll get more qualified answers for the situation. Kira T NYC replies, Hi, former sex worker here. As awkward as it can be, I think because in this case she's moving back home, you might as well be honest with her. But personally, I don't think I'd want a client to straight up tell me they were in love. I'd phrase it more as, I realize you're very special to me, and if you're interested as well, I'd love to try dating for real, or something along those lines. Just be very prepared for the possibility of rejection. Escorts and sex workers are very, very good at making people, especially good clients, feel appreciated. And her actions, like the PS5, could be literally just that. I've heard stories of girls falling in love with clients, and as rare as it is, it's not impossible. I wish you the best, OP. I completely agree with this comment as a fellow sex worker and escort. Our lives and work revolve around making people feel liked and cared for, and while I understand it can be hard to differentiate what's work and what's real emotion, as a customer, it is very important to keep in mind that this is work for us, and presumably her as well. But do tell her. She's moving after all, but put in a much better way than I'm in love with you and want a future with you. You're in love with the person she is at work when she is with you. Yes, she's been open with you, and I'm sure genuinely likes you as a person, feels that you are safe and trustworthy, etc. But you can't fully know her because it's her job to be likable to you, and you see her regularly enough that she counts on having a good rapport with you. You don't have an equal exchange going on here. You don't have access to her genuine personality in its entirety. I think you should look inward and try to parse apart how much of your feelings for her are based in the fact that the relationship is inherently free of conflict and the more painful and confusing aspects of dating. Please don't take any of this as me trying to be unkind or diminish your feelings. It's understandable how you feel, and I have zero judgment. If it would make you feel more free, you should tell her your feelings, sure, but To me, it sounds like she's trying to move forward with her life outside of this line of work, which is a boundary you must prepare yourself to respect. I came here to say this. The person you're in love with is a persona. Not to say she isn't a genuinely wonderful person, but you don't know her. As a sex worker, let me tell you, the person you think you know and love is the person she's pretending to be when she's with you. This is a good response, one you should listen to and take to heart. Even if she, in her work life, is close to how she is in her real life, it's not the same. You feel love and affection because she's done the hard work for you by making herself more palatable to you. And now on to the update. So I told her how I felt. We had another amazing time this weekend. We were cuddling in bed and looking at potential homes for her when she moves back. She seemed very excited about her future. At this point, I wasn't going to say anything. She seemed so excited about her future that I didn't want to ruin the moment. As we're about to fall asleep, she said that she's going to miss this. I asked her to explain, and she said she's going to miss snuggling with me, miss my massages, hair play, and chatting and hanging out in bed. So then I told her. I told her how amazing a person she was, and how I was excited for her future too. I said that she positioned herself to get everything she wanted out of life. I thanked her for everything she has done, and how important she had been to me over the years. I said I have developed deep feelings for her, and asked if we can see each other once she retires. I asked her if I can take her out on a real date afterwards. Her response, I care about you too, but let's not complicate things right now and enjoy our remaining time together. She fell asleep shortly thereafter, while I was up all night with my heart breaking. The next morning, I apologized for making things weird. She said it's fine, and she understands, and not to worry about it. She seemed to be taking this all so calmly and casually, like it didn't affect her at all. Meanwhile, I'm dying inside. Before I left, she recommended a friend of hers who's an escort that I can see once she retires. Ouch. This was Sunday. For the next few days it was weird. Usually we text all the time and she'd send me cute pics and stuff, but there was barely any communication. Then I receive an email. She tells me that I've been an important part of her life too, and that I've helped her grow throughout the years. She says that she has feelings too, but are unsure of what exactly they are. Somewhere along the way, the lines were blurred, and she said it was her fault for letting that happen. She doesn't want to explore those feelings because she has to move on with her life. She says it will never work because there are so many obstacles to overcome, mainly the fact that she will be living across the country. She said she's open to being friends, but isn't even sure about that, as it might complicate things. She suggested that we take a break from seeing each other for a while. I replied and apologized again for making things weird. I told her that she was special, and I will support her whatever she wants to do. Well, I am absolutely destroyed. I mean, I knew this probably wasn't going to end well, but I don't know how I'm going to get over this heartbreak. I don't know if I'll ever see her again. What am I going to do now? No one wants to be with a broken down 40-year-old man. For her, I'm happy she's starting a new life. She will be successful in her new career, get married, start a family. I was delusional to think that it could have been with me. I want to thank everyone for the kind words and support. As for the ones with the negative comments or who have attacked me in my DMs, it doesn't matter to me. Nothing that you can say can make me feel any worse than I already do. Maybe it's time for some professional help, or I should just go see that other escort. In the comments, Eleanor3 says, "The outcome was expected. If I was you, I'd think very hard about continuing to use escort services, unless you want your past to repeat itself and find yourself in the same position again after several more years. You obviously need something more than just sex with a woman. Using escort services is for people who want and need sexual gratification only, not for people who need something more. I'm a year older than you, and I can tell you that 40 isn't old. You have plenty of time to date and meet people. This is spot on. Escort aside, this woman is 25 and not age appropriate for OP. He mistakenly thinks that just because a 25-year-old doesn't want a relationship with him, nobody else does. Most 25-year-old women don't want to date 40-year-old men, period. That doesn't mean 40-year-olds are somehow broken or undateable, because there are plenty of people his age who would be far more suited to him. I think unless he gets therapy, he shouldn't date at all, because right now, no real woman is ever going to live up to his fantasy that he built up in his head. He'll be looking back through rose-tinted glasses at the woman he paid to be his perfect fantasy. Young, caring, never fought, always made it about his feelings. A woman who isn't paid to hide their reality and feelings would gain nothing from a relationship where they are competing with his false memories. I really hope OP gets help. 5 years is a long time to invest in something that was never real, and I bet he still has a lot of grief that he's been avoiding working through. Maybe he thinks 40-year-olds are old and broken, and he doesn't want one, and is realizing most younger people don't want older people, and is bummed. I think we have a winner. She's very young, and you are very likely in different stages of life. I'm sorry that things didn't work out, but you should continue to seek love in friendships, family, and romantically. I wish you all the best and hope you find someone to connect with. And Tibet says, I always make it a point to tell anyone who hires escorts that it isn't real. Not in the sense that the escort isn't a real person with real feelings, but not real in the sense that it's pleasure for the client, you, and work for the escort. It can be super difficult to abide by this when the both of you vibe so well and have a great time together, but that doesn't change the fact that the two different realities of the arrangement do exist. I truly do feel for you though. It's not like it was a 1 or 2 time thing. This went on for a pretty long time. I think it would do you some good to relax, spend some time with friends or family, maybe pick up a hobby, and maybe consider seeing a therapist regarding all of the feelings you're having within yourself. You have to listen to her and let go. She's letting you down easy. Don't read too much into what she's saying. There isn't anything to read into. These women are paid professionals, and of course it's normal to fall in love with them. She did her job well, but you will find someone else to fall in love with. What you can take from this is comfort knowing that these feelings can exist with someone else who will be there 100% for you. You've learned what you like in a woman. Now go out and find a partner. G'day there guys, and that's the end of today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed it and were entertained by today's bloody good content. As always, I want to do a quick shout out and a thank you to all my channel members and Patreon subscribers. Your beautiful faces and names will be up on screen right now. Haven't forgot about you guys, sorry I was taking a little break there. So yeah, if you see yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. If you want to be on this screen, there's links down in the description below where you can sign up and help support the channel and all future projects that I'm going to be doing on this one. With all that said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to. I'll see you in the next episode, and I do hope you enjoy it. Thank you.